podcast, Undiluted, the role of healthcare in the United States. We're going to keep bringing you information that's valuable to helping our community and staying healthy. This is episode 9. We are focused on health training in this podcast, and our special guest today is Sean Frost. Sean is a health trainer at Dr. James Ferraro's chiropractic practice, and here today to give us some valuable information. I'm going to give it the takeaway to Dr. James.
So great to be here. We haven't done a podcast in about 30 days or so, so this is awesome to be back. And what's our goal? To inspire, motivate, and encourage people about health and wellness. So I have a special guest today, my friend, coworker, and certified personal trainer, Sean Frost. Sean's a graduate of the National Academy of Sports Medicine. He's a certified flexologist as well, and he has a certification in nutrition. So Sean, what I find, is very relational with patients and has a good foundation of wellness. So whenever patients ask him specific questions, I feel like he goes to the root of things. Like someone has some low back pain, he's like, well, let's check out how your body's functioning, see where you're restricted, things like that. Most practitioners don't do that. So we had a nice touch here. So we are at Concord Chiropractic in Trolley Square. So Sean, great to be here. Great to be here and great to have you here.
Same.
So I want to ask you the question I ask every single person on these podcasts is, what got you inspired and motivated to become a personal trainer?
I guess a little bit might be like family lineage at this point. Like my mom's in the business, my brother's a doctor. So it was just around me a lot, and just the passion for it. I mean, I've been working out for a long time, right? And so a little bit getting into it for like my own benefits, but also like, found it to be like a good obtainable way for me to be able to help people, right? Yeah. Deliver the goods.
It's a beautiful thing. And then when you help people, then it makes you feel good too.
Yeah, it feels nice.
I always found that with chiropractic, it was nice to kind of study something that I could help other people with, but also help and discover myself as well. Do you find that to be true when you're working with patients or clients? I guess in our case, it's both patients and clients, that you learn from them as you go. So with conditions, problems, etc.
Yeah. Like every now and then, like someone will come in and have maybe a similar ailing that I have, right? Like someone's hamstrings messed up, and I'm like, oh, I have that too. And like, I relate to a lot of people when we're doing hamstring stretches, and they cry a little bit. I'm like, me too, actually. So,
all right. So here's a question I wanted to ask you, and we've never talked about this actually. So I find that people often know what to do, but they don't do what they know. So when you run across clients that you can help them. You have a protocol to help people, as do I. But getting them to comply to that program is sometimes challenging. So what are the tricks that you do for them, but also to help yourself to not get discouraged when people don't comply?
Right. Getting people to like do their homework, right? A lot of people need accountability, right? So getting them in to see you frequently, so you at least can keep up like when they're there. But I like asking people like, how you doing on your homework, right? And I'm not mad, I'm disappointed in you if they're not doing it. Right. But just encouraging it, and hopefully like in sessions being able to see the benefit of being consistent about things shows them enough to be like, hey, maybe I should do this another like day or two during the week when I'm not here. But I really think it's just like the benefits. As soon as they start to see the benefits.
Yeah, I agree with that. What have you personally found for yourself, the benefits of good, consistent exercise and nutrition? How's that benefited your life?
Just overall, just improvement of like just baseline happiness, right? And like well-being. Yeah. When you're consistent in like, I don't know, the gym or your walks, yoga, whatever your preferences, your energy levels are absolutely higher, right? Stress levels are down. It's just generally just a better mood. It does feel pretty nice to be able to like squat down and pick something up and be like, oh, not be worried about your back,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and whatnot. Yeah, children, right? Children are able to squat at the sandbox for hours and just play, right? And to be able to like even come a little bit close to that, like I don't know if you're just like cleaning up or organizing it feels good, you notice and it keeps you going, I think.
So the three of us work out fairly consistently. So Jeff, give me some of your input on the benefits that you found with exercise and good nutrition in your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a sense of structure. I think that's what we get into when we work out. We get into a routine of wanting to be healthy and stay motivated, right? And so I always was involved in sports at a young age. So that meant for me that okay, well, I'm going to work out, probably try to strengthen my ability to do better on the baseball field, on the soccer field, being able to run, have more agility, and so I've always taken that backpack with me where it's like, okay, I need to keep continue to do this because it's also good for my mood. In order to stay in the even keel, you have to exert that energy and burn calories or lift weights, whatever that is for you, like Sean said, like yoga or Pilates. So it's important that we maintain that for ourselves because we have to take care of ourselves first. And being able to do that, like Sean said, it's important for us because we want to stay motivated and stay healthy.
Yeah, I agree. So I want to share something a little personal. So years ago, I suffered from anxiety with insomnia. I'm not sure what started what, but I had it, and it was pretty bad. It was to the point where I had to get on medicine, which I do not like, and I don't take it anymore, thank God. So one of the key things that helped me was exercise, breathing exercises, but physical exercise, and having a routine and a structure with accountability, going to the gym with somebody else, working out at home, just for me personally, didn't cut it. So, Sean, what's your take on that as far as exercise with accountability compared to, say, somebody that works out at home? Different personality types. I know there's no right and wrong, but give me your take on that.
I see the benefit in both. I mean, I love putting on my big headphones and just jamming out and doing my own thing. Like, I think that there's like a sense, like a fulfillment to that. It's like peaceful in a way. But having a good workout buddy, there's not a lot like it, right? You got somebody, if you're on the bench press or something, somebody looking over at you and be like, I mean, I'm going to use nice words. I don't know what the rating is
Yeah,
on here,
right.
but like, you can do it, bud.
Yeah, that
Right.
is so true. Yeah,
Um, yeah.
those forced extra repetitions are sometimes the biggest result for muscle growth. So tying into that, I want to ask you this because I have a personal take on this. I want to hear yours. I'm more of a resistance training type of guy, although I like cardio. What are your thoughts on the proper balance for, say, a male of 50 years old that's already in okay shape?
Well, specifically, yeah, I'm 50 years old. I mean, a little bit of both. Cardiovascular health is super important. It overall, I guess, depends on like what your goals are. If it's like general health, like there, like a good 50-50 split. Like generally, like to not impact one or the other, you want to do them a little separately anyway, like apart from each other, like a walk one day, lifting another. Um, but as long as you're getting both in, because I hate cardio, James. I don't want. I'll hit the stair climber just to kick my butt as fast as I can and get off of it. But like just making sure you're consistent, I guess, with both. And in some, if you're like 50-20, as long any movement's good movement, you know? Yeah.
I think a lot of people feel that way about cardio. It's for some reason, I'll just speak for me on this one. I feel like I suffer more when I do cardio compared to when I'm doing weight training or any kind of resistance training. So I want to switch gears a little bit. You're a certified flexologist. And for our audience, explain what that is and the benefits of it.
I am trained and a professional at being able to, well, pretty much bringing people through guided stretches, knowing proper ways, safe ways to stretch somebody, and not only, give them like a good stretch, limber them up, but also increase their flexibility, help improve their mobility. And you get to just lay there and let me make you better, I guess, pretty much for the most part. You people put in a little bit of work, but yeah, like a guided system.
And it's a system of accountability too, because they're paying for a service, they have to be there. So it creates a structure for them as well.
This is true.
Yeah. And I could say this for myself. I'm not sure about you, Jeff, but I need structure. I benefit from structure. And if I don't have the structure, and there's a choice between that and maybe, I don't know, checking my emails or whatever, I might be checking the emails first. But if I have that accountability with, well, structure, but the accountability of someone else is waiting for me at the gym, I'm going to be there. So
yeah, I think it's about, getting on the wheel. It's about falling off the wheel. If you feel like you're hitting your goals, you're going to be able to hit those. But if, you get sidetracked, yeah, I totally agree with you.
So, Sean, if a person was interested in becoming a certified personal trainer and getting into the health and wellness field, would you have any recommendations for them?
I'd say like into like the research of like the fundamentals and the basics. I mean, everything's online. You can learn everything without like actually having to like go into it, and then just see if it's just ticks with you, right? If it scratches that itch that you're trying to hit as far as like your knowledge goes.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm getting a package at the door.
Oh, nice. There you go.
But
protein bars.
Yeah, probably. I lost my train of thought there a little bit, but no. Continue.
Recommendations for somebody that wanted to get into the field of health and fitness.
Yeah. So yeah, other than like doing your own research first, looking around to see what programs are available. Like there are ones that aren't as complex as NASM's curriculum. There are some cheaper ones out there to just get your foot in the door as well. Like NASM's, it's a little pricier as far as the schools go. But there are some that you can get like they're like $200 to just get your foot in the door, get the knowledge in, a place to start out, and then if it's working for you, you can continue to a place that's a little more reputable, like NASM. ICCP, I believe, is another one. Yeah.
So obviously, we talk about nutrition, and it's a big part of training. I've had powerlifters, bodybuilders say nutrition is 75 to 90% of health and wellness as far as like, getting in shape. Give me your opinion on that, Sean.
No, I agree. You are what you eat, right? Essentially. I mean, like technically you can eat whatever you want in a caloric deficit and lose weight if that's what your goal is. Some dude did like a study or on himself, like he just ate Twinkies in a caloric deficit and he lost weight. He was not healthy, but he did lose weight. But like what but what is the weight that he does have, right? It's probably not a lot of muscle. I don't think there's much protein in a Twinkie. So, but just making sure to like hit like essentials, right? Like I think that you can have a cookie, right? People should be allowed to like feel like they can have a cookie, and being scared of food it just leads to a whole other like mess of problems. But
Mhm.
it's just all about like what 75% of your diet is, right? Like as long as you're making sure you hit the good things first, then you can have a cookie, right?
Yeah. I heard somebody say if man made it, don't eat it, So which again is if you follow it 100%, it's a little extreme. But for the most part, I think it's a pretty good rule of thumb. But you can have those cheat days. So I always tell people, like, it's with nutrition and a lot of things, it's progress, not perfection. You don't have to be perfect. If you're eating clean even 5 out of 7 days, you're doing better than most people. So, don't try to, I think for me, don't try to be radical about it. Just make progress in the right direction and make these gradual improvements. And then you get some confidence with it. So, because if you told me today I have to stop eating sugar, I can't touch it for the next year, I don't think I could do it. But if you told me you got to do it like 5 or 7 days, eat clean those days and just eat like nutrient dense foods, fruits, vegetables, proteins, etc., then I could do that. Jeff, give me your opinion on that.
Yeah, it's find that happy medium. I think, like you said, Sean, it can become radicalized if you're not treating yourself every once in a while. And like Dr. James said, I mean, if you're consistent 4 to 5 days out of the week, that's about 80% of your week. I think it's attainable to do. And for me, like the last couple months, I'll say I put on some pounds because over, the last 2 years, I've been really focused on trying to figure out what was wrong with my stomach and, being able now to have somewhat of a normal gut health now. Yeah, I just been eating like what I haven't been able to eat. So, I think it's staying true to yourself and knowing that, I mean, if you eat out all the time, you're gonna gain weight, and that's the difference between eating out and eating at home. I mean, what you're putting in your food rather than going out to eat where you're ordering something, but you don't really know what they're using in the kitchen or whatever. Not to say it's bad, but it's going to be a lot more processed and probably more salt and sugar and so that's really what I come down to. And like you said, Dr. James, it's about, eating whole foods. Um, right now my mom is actually going on a diet. She was considering going on Ozempic. And I
Mm.
said, well, Mom, how about you just try eat whole foods? And she's already down 5 pounds in 1 month. So if you just cut everything out, the weight will fall off of you if you're trying to lose weight.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, Jeff, I wanted to kind of give it to you. I'm sure you had a few questions for Sean in reference to the nutrition, flexology, or personal training.
Yeah. So, Sean, what's your advice for someone that's new to working out, someone that's in high school, or maybe someone that's never worked out before? What do you suggest they do first to really try to understand to, you know, work on health training?
Um, if you're somebody that needs a little bit of extra guidance, I don't, getting like a trainer at like your personal gym to just like show you the ropes, it, highly recommend it because it can be a lot um to like kind of grasp. But like you're also like the information is out there. There's a bunch of just do these 6 exercises, right, at the gym. And a lot of the time, you want to progress from that, but it's a good place to start. Um, I mean, for like weightlifting, uh, splitting things up between like at least 2 different like days, preferably to focus on specific areas so you have a little more structure in your day instead of just going in and just being like, all right, what machine's open or whatever. Um, uh, Learning what exercises are going to affect which muscle groups, which luckily most gyms have like some sort of like depiction on each machine that says, hey, this is what this is doing. Um, but I mean, if like just 6 exercises to start off with, like for anybody, like chest press, shoulder press, lat pull down, row, a squat, and a deadlift, like or like the 6 exercises that like just hit everything. It's just like a base, and then growing from that. And yeah, it's just getting like a good system, or some sort of structure, so you know what you're doing when you go into a gym, so it's not as intimidating. um yeah, just making sure you feel comfortable.
Well, I wanted to follow up on that, and I wanted to see what
Yeah,
your take was on the push pull, um, legs. That's really what I do when I go into the
yeah.
gym. What's your stance on that? Push pull, all that stuff, those workouts.
I love a push pull leg. That's my jam. You can fit you're just able to get vary up your days a lot more. And now it's most beneficial to hit things twice a week, like so every muscle group twice a week. So a push pull leg isn't always obtainable for people with like very busy schedules. Like right now, like as I'm figuring things out, I'm there like 3 times a week. Um, but so just primarily whatever works best for you to hit everything at least twice a week, whether that's like 2 full body days. Maybe splicing some walking in there too, on your off days.
Now, would you
Or
recommend to do cardio before or after you're doing bodybuilding?
um, well, if it depends on your goal. If your goal is to increase your cardiovascular health, you want to prioritize that when you go into the gym. If you're like, get your heart nice and healthy. But if it's like weight loss, building muscle, um, joint strengthening, bone density strengthening, start with the strengthening portion, because you don't want the cardio to burn you out before you get to the part that you're like actually there for. I would say like cardio at the end, but preferably, uh, they say 6 hours after a strength session is the best time to do cardio, or the whole day afterwards, uh, so they don't impact each other. Because if you do too much cardio in the same window that you're recovering and working out, it's going to take away from some of the progress that you would have made, uh, like doing the weightlifting and the resistance training.
Mm, I
Yeah,
agree with that. I
yeah,
find too that especially when you first start working out, you got to have that downtime for rest, for recovery. And of course, as you guys know, uh, good nutrition and proper rest. You got to have that sleep in there too. I sometimes see people, Sean, I'm sure you see this in the gym, is they work out too much, and they might be getting strength gains, but they're not having enough recovery time. So there's that tricky balance. Of course, that ties in with your current fitness and your age and your metabolic health. Any recommendations specifically on that, Sean?
uh, definitely. I've talked to guys, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I'm at the gym for like 3 or 4 hours a day." I'm like, Are you working out the whole time?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." I'm like, "Oh, dude, you're busting it up." I disagree with that. Uh, you don't need. Like the health officials say like, an hour and a half is like max that you need to do of like consistent working out, right? If you're like hanging around talking to your buddies, you can be there all day. But of like consistent working out, like an hour and a half, because then you risk overtraining stuff, overstimulating, um,
Mm,
just beating yourself up for no reason.
yep.
Um, but yeah, especially for people starting out, like don't feel like you have to go in and like pick up the heaviest thing in like a week. When I start people out, I have them doing stuff just to kind of get into it, right? Just get used to the movements. Like, once you get like deep into your training, usually you want to push towards failure for like strength gains. But to get there, I think it's more important to like, get there, like the people probably have like 5 to 10 left in the tank on like their first couple of like sessions getting into it, and then progressing into that. Yeah.
So one of the things that you and I talk about at the office is how structure affects function. So you've seen it in the gym, Jeff. You've seen this too in the gym, where somebody, let's just say, has poor technique in lifting, so they're more prone to injury, or they're structurally misaligned. They have a high hip, they have a high shoulder, and what I find from a chiropractor's point of view, if you're working out and you're already and your body's out of alignment, oftentimes you can be reinforcing the right position. And I know some of what we do is we're not just trying to get someone in better condition and increase their body strength. We're trying to create more symmetry. So if there's muscle imbalance, so when you're doing your stretchology, what are you finding as far as symmetry and flexibility? You find a lot of asymmetry with flexibility, or is that not that common?
No, a lot of the things that they taught us to try to help correct through stretching are things like imbalances, right? Like one of my shoulders is absolutely raised, a slight, and that is the one that I have the most problems with. If I'm ever getting a gunked up shoulder, it's hard to put on a book bag. It's that shoulder. And just relaxing the muscles around it, helping everything kind of help fall into place, interspliced with chiropractic care to just kind of get things back where they should go, to let everything move more smoothly, right? Like if your car's wheels bent a little bit, it's going to drive weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I heard this great quote, and I'm going to kind of wrap it up with this. You can have 1,000 problems, but when you lose your health, you only have one problem. And I feel like that's so true, coming from a place where I did lose my health. I had mono one time. I had trigeminal neuralgia one time, which kind of like pretty much hamstrung my whole life. So, we're the three of us are in a field that I'm very passionate about. I know you guys are too, health, wellness, and fitness. So, our passion is to inspire, motivate, and educate people in this. So, I feel like a big part of that forum is education. You do a good job with that, Sean. So thank you for being here. Do you have any closing remarks before you sign out?
Come see us at Concord Chiropractic.
Yes. There you go. I like that.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Why don't we close it out with that? And then Jeff, if you want to, I'm being very like spontaneous here. If you want to do your magic thing, this is not part of the podcast. Sometimes you ask the questions.
Yeah. We can. Yeah, it's up to Sean if he wants to be coached or not. It's all up to him.
And I'll
I'm here
I'll
for it,
sign
yeah.
out so you guys have some privacy. And then Sean, good job, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, James.
All right,
Thanks
Dr.
for having
James.
me.
Appreciate you.
Fellas. All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. So Sean, how much time do you have?
Maybe about like another 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. We'll do that.
Yeah.
So you're willing to be coached?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So basically, I'll just give you a quick synopsis of what holistic nurse coaching is. It's basically anything that you want to focus on for the next 10 minutes. You want to come up with an idea, a problem to tackle, and then you're going to come up with a solution and then integrate that into your routine. So this is all based on you. It's not me suggesting anything to you, only if you let me, if you would allow me. And these are all the tools at our disposal that we can use to help you get to where you're going.
Okay.
All right. So we've got 10 minutes. What would you like to focus on?
That's a loaded question. Man, where's the health where can I improve? There's some places. My cardio is a little down at the moment. Ever since the move, moved to a new house and my whole routine has like been thrown off, and getting into it has been a little rough. Gained a few pounds, not as big and hulky as I was like 2 years ago.
So
Yeah,
how does this goal of cardiovascular health match your sense of purpose?
I just to be able to more reliably know that I can do something, right? I mean, as an extreme example, like if I was getting chased by a bear, I'd like to know that I'd have a better chance than I feel like I do right now.
So it means that for you, you want to be able to, I guess, match your body where it is, and you want to be able to be, I guess, you want to be more You want to feel less. You want to feel less. Is that what you mean? Like more limbile? Like, what do you mean
More
by like
optimal.
more optimal? Okay.
Yeah.
So what does your life what would it look like once you feel more optimal?
Well, I guess it would include probably running a bit more than I do, or to the Stairmaster. But no, going off and uh, I mean, I don't run down the street right now, but if I did, I'd like to, run a good bit before I'm like, all right, I'm tired. You know. So there's not a lot of situations where like, I'm being pushed to my cardiovascular like lengths.
Mm,
Um, but just given like kind of hypothetically, yeah, I just know that I would want to have done more. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to push yourself. You want to push
Yeah.
yourself to higher limits.
Yes.
Okay. So where do you want to be by the end of this session?
A better understanding of maybe like a good structure, right? Of what I could
Okay.
do to be in that position.
Okay. So how do you want to get to your goal? How do you want to get to a better routine of getting back into your cardiovascular health? Do you want to brainstorm? Do you want to have a discussion?
Let's brainstorm. Sure.
Brainstorm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got some tools here that we could brainstorm. And um, I thought this one really does help with brainstorming. And these are all the tools that I have here, Sean, all at
Mm.
my disposal, all these cards. Um, so this one is actually an affirmation. Um,
Okay.
would you be open to that? Like an affirmation?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So do you have a piece of paper and a pen or something?
I snag one real quick.
All right.
Yeah, 1 second.
No worries.
All right.
All right. So this is a pretty cool tool. So I want you to write down a short, concise statement in the present tense as if you've already reached that goal of being in a routine of being in a better cardiovascular health. I'll give you a few moments in the present tense.
All right.
All right. Are you comfortable with sharing?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
am hitting the stair climber twice a week. Right.
Mm,
That's the
okay.
general idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So can you explore some of the negative thoughts that come with that statement?
Yeah. The stair climber is a drag. Yeah. You go on that thing for like more than like 15 minutes. It's horrible. Um, the last time I went for more than like 15 minutes, I was doing like it was the 9/11 challenge. You're supposed to like walk up all the flights of stairs. And that took me like 45 minutes. And my friend was like, all right, now we got to walk
Whoa.
down. And I said, oh no. So not since
How
then.
did you feel?
Everything session since then has been like 15 minutes or less. And it's
Okay.
just rough. Sore
Do you,
legs.
do you feel that's attainable?
Twice a week?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So is that what you want to be your fun and easy homework to integrate
At
into
the
your
stair
routine?
climber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That means I'd have to go work out at the Planet Fitness and not just at Doc's office.
Yeah, he doesn't have a
Which is
stair climber yet. Maybe soon. Maybe
uh,
soon. Right?
yeah.
So what's your takeaway?
No, okay, yeah, no, I like that. Like, yeah, twice a week. That's super easy to do. Would help out a lot. Um, and I don't think my legs barking at me is too much of a deterrent from doing it. Yeah,
Awesome. Well, I'm
yeah,
glad you got there on your own. That was all, you know, you picture that in your mind, you're able to write it down and you can see it. And I think that's really what this is. It's about seeing it from a different perspective. And, you know,
yeah.
I learned something from you in that moment too, because, you know, doing a stair climber is no joke. I always like to run. So stair climber is tough. So
To be fair, I initially had put 3 times a week, and I was like, no, no, choices.
yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think it's pretty
Yeah,
good. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for Sean Frost for coming on our podcast. Please like, subscribe, share, follow. We appreciate everyone listening, and we'll see you next time.
see you guys. Thank you. Thanks,
All
Jeff.
right. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to pause it real quick. Um, let's see.